Hello, Mr. Foley here, and this video will be a basic fraction review. So I have a couple of images here, and we're going to talk about, first we're going to talk about the first one here. And the circle would represent one whole, and I have it broken into thirds, and each one is shaded. So we could say that this is 3/3, or we could also say it is one whole, right? And that'll be the same for the second image here, again 3/3, or we could call it one whole. You can call it either. Either one is correct. And then over here I only have one shaded, so we have 1/3, and we can't really call that a whole because it's not a whole, it's 1/3. So what I want to do is look at them all together, and we're just going to look at them all together. Let's say that it was all of them, and I'll put some plus signs. Say that we're adding these all together. We're adding 3/3 plus 3/3 plus 1/3. So we'll put some plus signs here. We're adding all those together, and we want to know what does all of that equal. So you could look at this as thirds. We could say 3/3 plus 3/3 plus 1/3. Now, one of the big mistakes a lot of times people make is that when you are adding a unit fraction like thirds, we're adding thirds, our answer has got to be also in the same unit, thirds. We don't add the denominator. We're adding thirds. Our answer is going to be in thirds. What we add is the numerator. So 3/3 plus 3/3 plus 1/3 is going to be 3 plus 3 plus 1, or 7/3. That's how many thirds. And then if we look at the diagram, here's a third, I'll number it 1. Here's a third, that's 2. Here's another third, that's 3. Here's 4. Here's 5. Here's 6. And finally, there's 7. So we have actually 7/3. And the other way to remember that, or think of it, I should say, is we said this could be one whole. We have one whole plus another whole plus the 1/3. Now we have a combination of whole numbers and fractions. So when we add these together, we're going to have to add the whole numbers together. 1 plus 1 is 2. And then the 1/3 goes after that, like so. So these two are what we call equivalent. Okay, 2/3 and 2/3 and 7/3 are equivalent. Okay, so here we have that. I don't know what just happened to my background color. I got white, but anyhow, we'll go with that. So we're going to look at this and say, how can we get 2 and 1/3 to show that it's equal to 7/3? So what we have here is we have on the right, we have an improper fraction. It's not incorrect. It's not wrong. It's just in the form of improper. And sometimes you want it that way, and it's okay. And on the left, we have what we call a mixed number. Mixed because it's part whole number, part fraction. So we have a mixed number over here. And again, neither are incorrect. They are indeed equal. They are the same thing. It's just a different way of representing that amount. So we need to know how to go from one form into the other. So going from 2 and 1/3, let's say you wanted to create an improper fraction. Real simple to do. The first thing I do is I look at the denominator. Whatever that denominator is, I'm going to make a line, and that number is going right there. That's the easy step right there. Just put that denominator right there. We're not changing denominators. If it's thirds, it's going to be thirds. That stays the same. And then what we do is we want to, in a clockwise fashion, we want to multiply denominator times whole number, and then we're going to take that product and we're going to add to it whatever this numerator is. So 3 times 2, we get 6, and then 6 plus 1, we get 7, and that's how we put it into the form we see here, the 7/3. And that's pretty easy if you practice it. It's not too bad. Now, how do we do it the other way? Well, what you have to do with the 7/3 to convert it is, it's always, I always say fractions are division problems, and it's always top down. And so if you say it properly from top down, you would say 7 divided by, that's the fraction bar, divided by 3. And if you can say it that way, you can write it the right way. So it's 7 divided by 3. Okay? And then all we have to do is the math. Now, a couple things to remember here. You can always add a decimal point. We've talked about that before. If you have a decimal point in your dividend, it always goes directly above in the quotient right there. You can extend your line. You can put zeros or anything else. So you can always do that. We're not going to make a decimal number out of this, so it's really not that important, but know that you can do it, okay? So how many times does 3 go into 7? And remember, when we talked about this, we said, does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? Does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? We'll follow those steps. So here's what we do. 7 divided by 3, that's the divide step. 7 divided by 3. And we say 3 goes into 7 twice. We're going to put the 2 right there. Then we multiply the 2, the digit we put up here in the quotient, times the 3. That's the multiply step. We get 6. Then we're going to do the subtract step. We're going to subtract those two numbers. We get 1. Then we're going to check, and the check is to make sure you don't make a mistake. Is this 1 less than the divisor? And so in this case, it's 1 less than 3. And as long as that's a yes, which it should be unless you made a mistake, then we're going to go to the next step, which is bring down. Now, we don't have anything to bring down. If we were going to continue and make this a decimal number, I would add a 0 and continue, but we're not going to do that. We're going to actually make it a mixed number. So what happens with the remainder? This becomes our numerator. Okay, that's what that is. It's our numerator. And then either you can look back at the original denominator or look at the divisor. Those are the same number, and that's going to be the denominator. So we're going to do 2, and I probably shouldn't have put this decimal point here. Maybe it's a little confusing, but the 3 is going to be the denominator, fraction bar. The remainder is the numerator, and so that's how that works. Okay, just to give you a quick other example of that, let's say that I had, so it's easy to make an improper fraction. All you got to do is make the top larger than the bottom. So let's say that I had 14 fifths, right? And I want to put that into a mixed number. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 14 and divide it by 5, like so. And it's always a good choice to put a 0 placeholder here. 5 does not go into 1. You can't make any groups of 5 out of 1, so we put a 0 there, and that holds that spot. So the next digit I have to put over the 4, which is where it needs to go. And that's going to be a 2 for 10. Subtract, I get 4. Remember that check. 4 is less than 5. I'm good. That 4 ends up coming up here is my numerator. And I find the denominator here or here. You can look at either of these places. If you're wondering what's my denominator, look either at your divisor or your original denominator. And there it is. So you have 2 and 4 fifths. So we would say that 14 fifths can be written as a mixed number. That's improper. It can be written as a mixed number as 2 and 4 fifths. Okay, so this is just a basic fraction review. I'll try to do some more on a fraction, but this is important to know when we're looking at fractions. So I'll get more advanced fraction videos up soon. So thank you for watching and have a great day.